and systems so as to enable it to be a lethal and competent fighting force capable of defending our territory from external aggression. Part of this modernization would be a focus on cyber warfare. I see cyber as a great equalizer, and we have great potential to be a player in the cyber domain. We shall also actively pursue our international defense and security engagements to strengthen our relations with our allies and partners. We shall actively participate in the United Nations missions to enhance our country's reputation as a peace-loving nation. Finally, why? Why is for youth. The AFP will do its share in developing our youth, the future leaders and citizens of our nation, to be responsible and patriotic defenders of our national identity as a people and of our territorial integrity. One way of doing this is through the proper and relevant conduct of the ROTC's program. This will also coincide with our efforts to develop our reserve force. That, in a nutshell, is the meaning of the acronym UNITY. At this point, let me congratulate General Andres Centino for an outstanding career as a military officer and for a splendid job as the 37th and the 39th Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Palakpakan po natin si General Centino. This is not the first time that he and I have been principals in a change of command ceremony. Previously, I took over from General Centino as the commander of the 4th Infantry Division in Northern Mindanao, and then again as Commanding General of the Philippine Army. Thank you, Sir Andy, for all the lessons that you have taught me. God bless you, sir, in the next chapter of your life. To our allies, partners, stakeholders, and friends, I ask you to continue supporting the armed forces of the Philippines. Please help us help you. Security and peace, after all, is a collective responsibility shared by all of us. And finally, to our soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and civilian human resource, I ask you to remain faithful to the oath that we all took when we entered the service, that of bearing true faith and allegiance to the Republic of the Philippines. Our mission is to ensure that this administration is successful in governing our nation, in securing our peace, and in protecting our territory at all costs. Before I end, I would like to quote the poem entitled Pledge of Loyalty by Albert Kim Hubbard. And I quote, "If you work for a man, in heaven's name, work for him. Speak well of him and stand by the institution he represents. Remember, an ounce of loyalty is worth a pound of cleverness. But if you must growl, condemn, and eternally find fault, why? Resign your position, and once you are outside, damn to your heart's content. But if you condemn this organization, the first high wind that comes along will blow you away, and probably you will never know why." End of quote. Mabuhay ang sandatang lakas ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang sambayanang Pilipino. To God be the glory. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much. The new Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Romeo S. Browner Jr.
We'll now move on with the retirement ceremony of General Andres Castor Centino.
May we now request General Centino, sir, to please stand and step forward as the Adjutant General of the Armed Forces of the Philippines reads the retirement order.
Republic of the Philippines, Department of National Defense, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders Number 1108, published on July 2023. Compulsory retirement. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 6 of Republic Act Number 11709, as amended by Republic Act Number 11939, dated 2 June 2023, General Andres Castor Centino, Officer Dash 9851, Philippine Army, having completed 39 years, 3 months, and 20 days of active military service in the Armed Forces of the Philippines from 1 April 1984 to 20 July 2023, is compulsorily retired in the rank of General effective 21 July 2023 with retirement pay based on the salary grade of General with FIP longevity pay by order of the Secretary of National Defense, Andres Castor Centino, General, Philippine Army, Chief of Staff. Official signed Bernardo Ortiz Jr., Brigadier General, Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
Please remain in front, sir. We'd like to request Mrs. Sheila Centino, ma'am, to join your husband on stage. His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is requested for the presentation of the plaques and mementos.
The command plaque is hereby presented to General Andres Castor Centino, Officer Dash 9851, Philippine Army, for meritorious and valuable service as the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Plaque of Honorable Service is presented to General Andres C. Centino for his 39 years, 3 months, and 20 days of faithful and honorable service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Likewise, the coat of arms is also presented to General Andres Castor Centino, Philippine Army. This coat of arms embodies the Armed Forces of the Philippines' mandate to serve and protect the Philippine democracy and freedom. Likewise, the framed medals is also presented to General Andres C. Centino. These are all of the awards that were bestowed on him during his active tour of duty.
Pagpupugay sa Kawal Pilipino Plaque or Plaque ng Pagpupugay sa Kawal Pilipino, iginagawad kay General Andres C. Centino. Pagpaparangal at pagkilala sa natatanging pagganap ng mga tungkulin bilang isang leader at Kawal Pilipino ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas.
This time, Mrs. Centino will be presented with a plaque of appreciation. The plaque of appreciation is hereby presented to Mrs. Sheila S. Centino for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted support to her husband's lasting contribution and dedicated service to the Armed Forces of the Philippines and to our nation.
This time, Mrs. Centino will be presented with a glass replica of the Sampaguita, symbolizing fidelity, purity, devotion, strength, and dedication. These virtues embodied by the Sampaguita that also reflect the persona of the worthy and inspiring spouse of the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines. This time, we'll be having the presentation of the encased Philippine flag. And as we witness the presentation, everyone is requested to stand. Symbolizing the aspirations and sentiments of the Filipino people, it embodies love of country and patriotism. For the men and women of the noble profession of arms, it means defending our freedom to the extent of paying the ultimate sacrifice. The Philippine flag is presented to General Andres C. Centino.
Congratulations to General Centino and Mrs. Centino, ma'am, and thank you to His Excellency and to the Defense Secretary, and once again, a big hand for General and Mrs. Centino.
Please be seated.
The immediate past Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Andres Castor Centino, Philippine Army, will now deliver his valedictory address.
His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., President, Republic of the Philippines, Honorable Gilberto Teodoro Jr., Secretary, National Defense, Honorable Antonio Lagdameo Jr., Special Assistant to the President, Lieutenant General Romeo S. Browner Jr., and Mrs. Browner, ma'am. May I greet also my wife, Sheila, government officials, generals and flag officers present, and their ladies, former chiefs of staff, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and their ladies, members of the Joint Personnel and Special Staff, chiefs, commanders of the AFSUs present, members of PMA Class 1988, and with the permission of the President, may I request my classmates here to please stand. And their ladies, of course. Thank you for coming. The members of PMA Class 1989 and their ladies, friends from the media, officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resource, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. 39 years of gratitude. That sums up my life as a soldier and as an officer of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. For truly, one can never be thankful enough for the opportunity to serve our country and our people. These long years of my life in uniform have strengthened the soldier in me, encouraged the leader that I desired to be, and honed the public servant who will say yes when duty calls. I am grateful to the Lord Almighty, the great architect of the universe, for every moment I have had to do my share to bring forward our vision and our quest for peace. Without His grace and His divine guidance, all my milestones and the honor of leading the Armed Forces of the Philippines would not have happened. My appreciation and gratitude goes to His Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., our Commander-in-Chief, for the trust in my ability to contribute to his vision of a peaceful and progressive Philippines, and for giving me every chance to lead the march of our troops, as well as to serve the Filipino people in a different capacity. Thank you also, Mr. President, for allowing me to continue and complete my service. Every soldier has one ultimate goal he holds sacred: to fulfill his years of service and be permitted to serve until the final day. And to all those who helped me finish my career rightfully, this soldier is immensely grateful. To my fellow workers in government, especially in the defense establishment and in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, it has been my honor and my privilege to have stood shoulder to shoulder with you in achieving our shared goal of serving the people and securing the state. Together, over the years, we have worked tirelessly and achieved significant milestones, from territorial defense to internal security to humanitarian disaster relief operations. We have attained our targets and made a tangible impact on the communities that we serve and we protect. On the other hand, our alliances within the region and with our long-standing partners have enhanced our capacity and interoperability, strengthening our ability to address security challenges in the West Philippine Sea and the region as well. With these achievements, we have gained momentum and are ready to realign our efforts to meet our goals within designated timelines. And I'm proud to announce that our operational tempo that we set at the beginning of the year has yielded substantial results. To the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, all the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and our reservists who have been the solid, undaunted force that has driven our current successes in internal security operations. Never in the history of our campaign against insurgency that we have come close to finally resolving this problem. The adversary is currently at its weakest, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines is at its strongest. And the support of the Filipino people is overwhelmingly in our favor. Our sustained drive, discipline, and commitment under the determined leadership of our Commander-in-Chief are integral in ending insurgency and ensuring peace and prosperity across our land. This will enable the Armed Forces of the Philippines to refocus on the pressing and urgent task of defending our territory. We have done much together, and I salute all our gallant officers, tireless personnel, and professional civilian employees for all the progress that the Armed Forces of the Philippines has made, especially in the first half of the year. I make special mention of our soldiers serving in the farthest and most difficult deployments and places that I have visited. In Mapanas and Katubig, in Samar, in Himaymaylan in Negros, in Parola Island in the West Philippine Sea, in Mabulis Island in Itbayat, in Batanes Islands in the north, in Balut Island in Malungon, Sarangani, and in the remote places in southern Philippines. The dedication and sacrifices may sometimes not recognized and acknowledged enough. But thank you for your noble service to the nation. And to our fellow soldiers who paid the most, their precious lives, your sacrifices will not be in vain as victory is near. Our efforts have not gone unnoticed though, as attested by the consistently high trust ratings that the AFP has maintained through the years, ranking amongst the top 2 government agencies based on Publicus Asia Pahayag survey released June of this year. And even in the global community, the Philippines has climbed 19 places in the military strength ranking, standing 32nd out of 145 countries in the global firepower military strength ranking of 2023. The rest of the year holds new challenges and fresh goals as my successor takes over the leadership of the AFP. His capacity to lead is tried and tested, and I know that the future of our organization and the vision for peace and progress are in capable hands with the help and support of the top leadership of the AFP. To Lieutenant General Browner and to the AFP's top leadership, the men and women who will follow your lead and march your pace are capable, committed, and truly commendable. The AFP of today has been molded, shaped, and strengthened by the vision and direction of our leaders, including the former chiefs of staff, some of whom are here with us this afternoon, who have come before you and me. United in purpose and action, the AFP can only continue to deliver on its pledge to the Filipino people. At this point, Mr. President, I am ready to submit my tour of duty report. On this last day of my journey in the military service, from being a 4th class PMA cadet to the general that I am now, allow me to acknowledge and thank all those who have been part of my 39 years in uniform. To my late parents, Flaviano and Araceli, once again, I give you the honor and gratitude for guiding me towards the life of service. Thank you. To everyone I have worked with and served with through the years in the service, my upperclassmen, my peers, my classmates, my subordinates, thank you. To the Filipino people who have placed their trust and confidence in the AFP, thank you. You are the reason I serve and the reason I am proud to be a soldier. And as I save the best for last, I thank my family for the understanding and support through the years. You have been my rock and my anchor. Without you, my dear wife Sheila, and our 4 children, Bugsy, Rocky, Dion, and Adi, I would not have been able to do my best. I would not have been able to do the best I could be as a soldier, as a leader, and as a public servant. To our officers, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, I salute your bravery, your dedication, and your professionalism. Stay steadfast and strong. The peace and progress that will enable a better future depend on you. And as I hang my uniform today, I extend my sincere wishes of goodwill to all. I have done my best for 39 good years. This is General Andres Centino rendering my final salute. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Once again, thank you to the immediate Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Andres Castor Centino, Philippine Army.
We shall witness the donning of rank to the new Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The new Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Romes Browner Jr., is requested to stand and step forward as the promotion order is read by the Adjutant General, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Republic of the Philippines, Department of National Defense, General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders Number 1116, published on 21 July 2023, ad interim appointment. Pursuant to the provisions of Republic Act Number 11709, as amended by Republic Act Number 11939, and in reference to the approved appointment by the President of the Republic of the Philippines, dated 21 July 2023, Lieutenant General Romeo Saturnino Browner Jr., Officer -10052, Philippine Army, is appointed ad interim to the rank of General, effective 21 July 2023, by order of the Secretary of National Defense, Romeo Saturnino Browner Jr., General, Philippine Army, Chief of Staff. Official signed, Bernardo Ortiz Jr., Brigadier General, Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
The spouse of the new Chief of Staff, Mrs. Melody Mariel V. Browner, is requested on stage.
His Excellency is requested for the donning of rank to the new Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines to be assisted by the Defense Secretary.
Congratulations to the newly promoted General Romeo S. Browner Jr. Thank you to His Excellency, to Defense Secretary, and to Mrs. Browner. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big hand for General Romeo S. Browner Jr.
At this point, the presiding officer will be introduced by Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Department of National Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of our Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos, Jr.
Thank you to our D&D Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Teodoro. Please take your seats. The Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Anton Lagdameo, other members of the Cabinet here present, our incoming AFP Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., the immediate past AFP Chief of Staff, General Andy Centino, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am very happy to be with you here, to join you, to preside over the Armed Forces of the Philippines Change of Command and Retirement Ceremony for General Andy Centino. I congratulate him for successfully completing his tour of duty as Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. You have demonstrated exemplary service and resolute commitment to our nation's peace, order, and security. Under your supervision, the AFP has made significant strides in reducing the presence and capabilities of communist and local terrorist groups. In terms of our national security, the AFP has conducted hundreds of maritime air patrols, naval surface patrols, as well as deployed hundreds of troops to defend our islands. The AFP also established dozens of littoral monitoring stations and detachments across the country. With regard to our peace support operations, the AFP has facilitated the deployment of military observers to United Nations peacekeeping operations in India and Pakistan, to the UN mission in South Sudan, and to the UN Stabilization Mission in the Central African Republic. I thus convey my utmost respect and gratitude to General Centino. As you enter your well-deserved retirement, I hope that you will continue to pursue endeavors that will benefit our fellow Filipinos and our entire nation. We have made sure that we do not lose the talent and the skills and the experience that General Andy has acquired over his many years, his 39 years of service. And so we have assigned him as the presidential assistant, as presidential advisor on the West Philippine Sea, so that we can be sure that all our policies in that regard are continuously evolving from what we had begun. Now, looking to the future, let us welcome the incoming Chief of Staff of the AFP, Lieutenant General, hindi na Lieutenant General, Romeo S. Browner Jr., given your extensive experience in safeguarding peace in conflict-affected areas, I urge you to recalibrate our internal security operations so that we can deliver public services in geographically isolated and disadvantaged communities. I know that your supervision will give rise to a safer and more secure nation, where more rebels return to the fold of the law and decide to be productive citizens. At this juncture, allow me to urge you all to work towards an armed forces that is agile and prepared for any contingency, As your Commander-in-Chief, I assure you that this administration is firm in reinforcing this noble pursuit by modernizing the AFP. Along with our efforts to strengthen our external defense capabilities, I ask you too to continue working with national government agencies and civilian stakeholders to form an archipelagic consciousness amongst Filipinos. This will help champion our country's territorial integrity and sovereignty. I have faith that under the supervision of General Browner, the armed forces will continue to ensure the security of Filipinos and the national sovereignty of our country amidst the challenges ahead. So together, let us protect the interests of our people. Let us help them fulfill their goals for themselves, for their families, for their communities, and for our nation. Mabuhay ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Once again, thank you very much, Mr. President, sir.
As we wind up today's event, please remain standing for the exit of colors.
Exit the colors.
you.